what's going on here? In today's exciting episode, we're doing some flooring. But first, we need to pick some flooring up. Ready?
Yep. Can we go?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yay! Starter motor. I need a new starter motor. Today we're doing timber flooring on our old house, and I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that I use every time I do timber flooring to get a good result. And we also look at some of the timber we're going to use on our bathroom. I need your advice on that one as well. Should we pick up some floorboards?
Yeah. So Scott, where am I going to sit?
Yeah. Not sure how we're going to do that. So how long are you in Nelson? This is my first day back on the tools in 3 weeks. Ever since I cut my hand open with some roofing iron, kind of went up there and there as well. Ever since then, I've been off. But now we can get back into it. We can carry on working towards the bathroom. By the way, I didn't mention this before. I have secretly been trying to build with my left hand predominantly for like years now, maybe 3 or 4 years. And that was just in case something like this happened. So when I drill stuff, I often use my left hand. Sometimes even when I'm hammering stuff, I use my left hand, just to train my left hand to be better at building. Didn't really help, I still had to take 3 weeks off, but it's a nice idea. So I want to finish this toilet here, and then we can move on to the bathroom and the other things. But the problem is I'm not allowed to line the walls of that toilet until the council have come and checked it. They want to check that that window behind me is sealed, they want to check that this floor is done, and they want to check that all the plumbing and electrical are in place prior to giving me the okay to line the walls. So, I need a floor. We went back and forth because originally we were going to use the terracotta tiles, the same ones as the bathroom, and then we realized we actually need all of those tiles for the bathroom. And tiles are expensive. You have to pay for the tile underlay, you have to pay for the underfloor heating because tiles are just naturally cold, and you have to pay a tiler. I'm free. It's our house after all. $750 on Remu floorboards, a free builder, a much cheaper floor. But all it means is that the frame of this floor is too low now, so we have to pack it up. So the thing with floorboards is you don't want movement and you do want movement. There's 2 areas. Up and down, you don't want any movement. That's how you get the squeakiness, that's how you get the movement between the boards, the squeakiness on the nails. You don't want that. So you've got to make sure everything's fixed down nicely, and in this case, I'm gluing down the rippings and I'm nailing them down. The nails can hold them for now while the glue sets, it's nice and solid. But where you do want movement is laterally. Timber is a natural product. It gets wider and it shrinks depending on the season, depending on the moisture in the air. So you want to allow room for that. And the way to do that is to make sure that you don't cut it tight. Leave a gap all the way around wherever the floorboards meet a wall. Give that timber room to move. There you go. Bathroom floor. I'll nail it in the morning. They're recycled boards, so they're never going to be perfect. But this is how I nail them. So I've got jolt head nails here. Now this is a trick that I've done before in a video. But basically I get the head of the nail, so I turn the nail upside down, put it where I want the nail to be, and then do a little punch mark like that. Grab a fresh nail. There we go. Do it on the next one. I go over the top because this is very dry timber, this old Remo, so I also pre-drill it. Oh. So because it's dry timber, when a nail goes through it, rather than giving into the nail and separating, the timber just wants to split. By blunting the nail, it severs all the wood fibers. The wood fibers are going this way and it just cuts through them. When the nail is nice and sharp, it forms a wedge and it separates those wood fibers, and that's what a split is. So not only have we blunted the nail, we've made room for the head so that surface timber doesn't collapse like that, chip up basically, and then we've done the drill bit on top to make sure that there's a hole that leaves space for the nail. So like no chance of splitting is the goal. Ah! Rookie. And then we go through with a nail punch for that last little bit. That leaves a nice little bit of space for the filler later. Now I just have to do that 200 more times. We should try to do it left-handed. I said before that I've been practicing with my left hand, but yeah, maybe this isn't a good idea. Let's give it a go anyway. Eh?
These floorboards are quite expensive. Is this the time to practice with your left hand?
Yeah, you know what? Let's do it behind the door. Alright, you want to come in with me? Oh no. I can tell this is going to end badly. Oh, not too bad. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Yeah, boy.
Okay, don't do another one with your left hand.
That was pretty good. Yeah, look,
Sure,
now,
but this is not the time to experiment. These floorboards are expensive, Scott.
Making a mess. You know what? I'm going to the right hand.
Yeah, okay, can I get out?
Okay. Alright, I'll continue nailing this off. Hey! And one more tip. If you miss and put a dent in the floor, like somebody did, you just wet this, put the cloth on top, and hit it with an iron. And then that dent slowly rises. The timber cells expand again because they've been crushed by the hammer. Dent disappears.
Did you do that with your left hand?
That was actually with my right hand. Let's do it.
What did that mechanic do to the van?
We're trying to choose timber for our windows. We've got 2 windows to do. One of them is the office. That's going to be Remo, same as our floorboards. The other one is the bathroom. And whatever timber we choose in there has to be repeated on the doors of the cabinets that are in that bathroom. And
Possibly a bench.
possibly a bench.
So it has to look good against the tile.
So we've got a few options from my mate Justin from Logs to Lumber. Let's put it through the thicknesser and see what we think. I think we saved the best to last.
I don't know, man.
I mean, that is pretty stunning.
These all used to be big, beautiful trees once. Now here they are, being planed for YouTube.
So what do you think?
You're asking them or are you asking me? The key is to get a stain on them all and then see how they look.
And then we'll figure it out. But whatever we use has to work for cabinet door fronts as well. And I could do like a veneer, you know, it could be plywood with one of these timber veneers.
Oh yeah?
But
would that be cheaper?
Yeah, I guess it
Just
would.
more time consuming.
Less timber, yeah, more time consuming.
But what's your labour worth? Nothing.
Any tips on veneering? Is that possible? Can you rip timber like this into a veneer for plywood? I've never done that before.
I wonder. Oh, timber.
No, isn't it the best out of all of them?
I don't know that there's one that's the best. I think they're all beautiful in different ways. But I love Remo. I love New Zealand native timbers. I think they're really beautiful.
Yeah.
Europeans first came to New Zealand, they hacked them all down.
Yeah, they're like, we need to build some stuff.
Wow, yeah. What they didn't realise was that those trees have been growing for thousands of years. Or hundreds, if not thousands of years.
That is the downside with a lot of these native timbers here. The stuff that we use, like what I used for the floor in this episode, that's all recycled because you're not chopping down any more Remu trees.
You shouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. I think this is Hardemu because it's quite dark.
All our native trees, I mean, I'm obviously biased, but all our native trees are so nice.
Oh, yeah.
And they have the most beautiful timbers, but they are really slow growing. I mean, the logs, you should see the old pictures of them.
Yeah.
They're huge. There's Cody trees up north where, like, the diameter is, like, double, if not more, of my arm span.
Yeah, they have pictures of, like, 10 guys in front of it, standing in front of the tree.
And there's sort of a great tragedy because there's maybe one tree, Tāne Mahuta, which is left, which actually you can see what it would have looked like. Other than that, we just have to imagine.
Well, there's a lot of small ones, but yeah, nothing like the age that they used to be. The interesting thing about this eucalyptus is it's so high in silica that it blunts your tool blades, and it's equal to H3.2, which is the pine treatment that we use outside. So when I framed out my deck out the front, I used H3.2 pine because it can survive the elements. And the eucalyptus is the same. Except
the eucalyptus isn't full of awful polluting chemicals.
Very true.
This timber's very, like, scratchy.
Oh.
See all this? That could be a problem.
I mean, that might just be our finish. Like, we didn't sand it, we just, you know, it's pretty rough through the thickness there. One thing I can't get across on the video is how dense it is. This piece of wood, it's tiny.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah.
So, things to consider.
How come the timber people call it eucalypt, not eucalyptus?
Ah, save time.
No, okay. Don't have time for that extra syllable.
Ooh, that's quite a nice, rich...
It's very warm.
Brown, yeah.
Well, the elm is, we've got a little chopping board made of elm from some friends of ours. And we were actually holding that up against our tile. We really liked it, but for some reason I got the impression that maybe it wasn't the best thing for windows.
See, that goes a bit more red, a bit more yellow.
Very red.
See, the elm, by comparison, is quite ashy.
Yeah, which we realised looks good against the tile because the tiles are already really brown terracotta. It gets all a bit much.
Yeah, that's
if
true.
the timber's like that too, whereas the ashiness was a nice balance with the red terracotta tile.
Yeah. And finally, the mysterious timber.
The mystery timber! The wild card.
Blackwood.
I mean, it is blackwood. It might be called blackwood for a different reason. It might not be because the timber's specifically black. Maybe the tree itself goes black or...
bark or something.
Yeah, exactly.
At first, I was leaning towards this, but I'm now actually leaning towards this.
Do you just mean in general or what I think would look good in the bathroom?
Bathroom.
Well, this, because I think it would look best with the tile. These are all too pink. Could be too much red.
Yeah, that's very pink. So that's the blackwood. And what's that?
That's the mystery wood's not terrible.
The mystery wood. Yeah, it's pretty nice. The Remu.
Yeah, it's red, but I mean
it's quite an orangey combo, eh?
Yeah, but like unlike this, which is it's just too red. Whereas I think that's nice. It's a totally different look though.
It's a contrast. I think that's what's nice about it.
Too light. It looks unfinished.
That's a good combo.
You reckon?
That's a nice combo.
I don't agree. I don't think that looks good together at all. That's interesting. So we were thinking this tile with the brush nickel and then the lighter timber could be complemented with a lighter grout. The tiler has tried to put me off that because he said a lighter grout's just going to look like too many squares. What's wrong with too many squares? We love squares. You should build your website with square space.
Squarespace, the all-in-one platform where you can build your online presence and run your business. Squarespace is great for building websites. If you don't know anything about building websites, start with these guys because you don't need to know how to code. And they have drag and drop functionality, and they have portfolios and galleries. They have thousands of templates to choose from, and within those templates you'll find portfolios and galleries that will really showcase your work. And if you want to sell something, they have e-commerce built into the platform. They have all the major forms of payment so you can sell your product easily. And of course, Squarespace have custom domains. They've also integrated AI tools into their platform. If you're generating your website for the first time, you put a bit of information about your website, it'll generate a website for you. And then you just tweak it to make it just right. So you can really do everything inside Squarespace. It's an all-in-one shop to get your next website sorted out. And they have a free trial, so you've got nothing to lose. But once you've done your free trial and you're ready to launch, make sure you go to squarespace.com/Scott Brown Carpentry, and then you get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Look how much this garden has grown. Look at all this. Look at all this. There's all strawberries in here. We've got strawberries growing in there. It has popped off like crazy. Jess has been working out here till like 9 o'clock some nights. Just working on the garden, trying to get it ready. And it's looking amazing. She's learned so much in the last 3 years since we've been here. So that's what she's been doing for the last month. Before I hurt myself, I was working on this back wall in the conservatory here. I know it doesn't look like a whole lot, but it took a lot of work to get it to look like this. And here's how I did it. I've got a lot of work to do on this entrance to make it look right. We've got missing weatherboards where we put the window in, and down here we need to do a sill repair, which I'll show you how to do in this episode. See, I've got a toilet on the other side of that wall that I need to line, but we need to clean this mess up before I can do that. So you can see there used to be a bigger window here that we took out and we replaced it with the smaller one, and that's why you have this orange square around it. And that's why these weatherboards are too short. See the separation here that the paper should have from the weatherboards, allowing an air gap here. In the past, I would have left this weatherboard here because it's mostly intact, but it does have this long crack along here, and that really shouldn't be left because it doesn't look like much, but water can get in there. Now this is the tricky part. This is the part that made me consider leaving the broken weatherboard here. Oh, there we go. Okay, we have weatherboards on. The next little repair I need to do is this corner of the sill here. I decided to reuse the door, and then somewhere along the road I managed to chip both ends of the sill. So both ends need to be repaired. So let's figure out how to do that. Okay, it's actually a bit worse than I thought. This chip here is chunky. I might need a new plan. Okay, that's machined nicely to match the sill that exists. And now I just got to measure over here to make the timber go all the way to the weatherboards. The part of the timber that goes beyond the door is called the horn. It's the same on the windows as well. So we've got to create a horn, but I want it to be all one continuous piece because I think it'll be stronger.